are live with another episode of Comic Talk. It's that show brought to you by The Keeg where we talk about this week's new comic book releases. For those of you who don't know, new comic books come out every Wednesday at your local comic shop. Go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you. Whether you like DC Comics or Marvel Comics or Image Comics or Dynamite or Boom Studios or any comic book, they all come out every single Wednesday at your local comic shop. And then we go live every Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Keeg Show to talk about all the comics that came out, all the comics that we could read across however many publishers. I'm your host, Dimithri Perera. And if you are watching us live, you're watching us on youtube.com/The Keeg Show, or maybe you're watching us after the fact on YouTube, or maybe you're listening to the podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. But however you are digesting us, like, comment, subscribe, follow, let us know you're out there, write a review, leave a comment, that sort of thing. It's always, nice to know you guys are out there. If you're watching us live, hop in the chat like Ashwan231 Comics. I see ya, Ashwan. It's always cool to have, live chat commentary in there as well. It's not just me talking. Also, if this is your first time tuning in to Comic Talk, it's not just me talking. In fact, I got two awesome guests here today. First, you may know him as King Krakoa. The Krakoan age has ended, but it's still alive with Aaron Rhodes. What's up, Aaron?
What's going on, my guy? Just another day in the life of, reading these comics and talking about them.
You were on Comic Talk last week, huh?
Literally last week, yeah.
And we just turn around, and it's like a new month,
Right.
And
I couldn't get enough of it, so,
Yeah. I'm glad to have you back. Last week was a little tougher as far as like how many comics came out, because it was like a little bit of a slower week because it was the fifth Wednesday of the month. This month, though, there's only 4 Wednesdays, which means it's a normal turnout for most companies. How did you feel from 1 to 10 about this week's new comic book day? Like the selection?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna give this I'm gonna give it a good 7.5, 8. I think of everything. It was it had a pretty good assortment of things, but I still had enough to where I was like, I got to read enough. If it's a week where I'm like, oh, I'm scrambling to read a book, that's where I know it's going to be like a good 10 where I'm like, I'm going to be overwhelmed. But today was a good 7 or 8 where I could read everything and I actually got to an extra book. So, yeah.
Nice. I mean, that's a good week, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm going to read even more than I had planned.
Right. I actually got to read what I wanted to read and then more. Yeah. It's always a plus.
Okay. Aaron, again, glad to have you back, week after week. Speaking of week after week, year after year, we got Drew Deficit, written Drew X Deficit on social media. Drew Maxi. The X in Maxi is the X in Deficit, but the X in Maxi is spoken out loud and pronounced, while the X in Drew Deficit is not. That is silent. It's very confusing, but we got Drew back on the show. What's up, Drew?
You've overcomplicated it. It's not confusing at all.
There's so many names and so many letters. How many? What? How do you pronounce it? Is it May?
Sure.
The X is silent.
Yeah, you're like
you're the deficit on this one.
you're like my students. It is the end of the school year and they still don't know how to pronounce or spell my name.
You're like, for real?
Oh, that's real.
Which part do they have a problem with?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's the greatest answer in the world.
The funniest to me, and for people who just listen to the podcast, they might not know that my name Dimithri has an H in it. The H is silent for the most part. It's Dimithri, right? It's like just like Dimithri without an H. But I have an H, and I'm very particular about that H. But if you're responding to an email of mine that literally has my name on the email, and you respond without an H, oof, them fighting words.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about the students who are emailing me. The other day,
yeah,
I got an email from a student where they spelled my name with a C in it.
Drek? Crew?
No.
Like Maxey?
Maxcy.
XC. Okay, all right.
And I said, that's not how English names work.
Maxe.
Maxi?
Ugh.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, either way, however you pronounce your your weird name. Drew, between 1 and 10, what was this week like for comics?
I'll get
For you?
I will call it a solid 8.35.
Okay.
Okay, I mean you're getting into 3 significant figures there. Most of us don't get that granular, but okay, cool. 8.35, great. I feel like you averaged all the voices in your head.
Kind of, yeah. I was thinking, okay, well, like it's not a 10. I don't
Okay.
think any week is a 10. But then I was like, well, it's not quite a 9. Is it at 8.5? No, but it's higher than an 8.
Okay, fair. 8.35. We'll accept that on the show.
Thank you.
For me, I feel like I'm gonna say it was an 8.5 week. I would say, I would say 8.5. I think I'm comfortable with that assessment. There was a lot of great books out this week, and we're gonna go through as many as we can / all of them, depending on what the spread was. But I would say, like, for me, it was like 8.5. So it was a pretty good week. Ashwan231 Comics says, hello, excited to see your picks this week. Haven't been in the chat the past 2 weeks because I fell asleep because it's 1 a.m. start time UK time, but here now and excited to see comics. Yes, for any, we surprisingly have viewers that are overseas. And I think it's, maybe it's because, Deanna over there in Switzerland is canvassing all of Europe. And
shout out to that late night insomnia.
What'd you say?
Shout out to that late night insomnia.
When Deanna tunes in, it's 2 a.m. in Switzerland.
Yeah.
And Ash1231's from England, and that's 1 a.m. because they're an hour back on the time zone. So fair enough. Thanks for tuning in. For anyone out there, whatever time it is, thanks for tuning in. Let's go through our picks of the week. And we'll be able to, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because otherwise I'll do the thing where I just kind of sit here very awkwardly and wait.
If you got your list, go for it.
My pick of the week is from Image Comics. It is If Destruction Be Our Lot. It's written by Matthew and Mark Elijah Rosenberg with art by Andy McDonald. It's a wild first issue.
Wait, are you doing your picks of the week? I meant your reading list.
You said pick of the week.
Did I? I probably said it wrong.
You did say pick of the week.
Aaron, I trusted you to back me up on this.
I didn't know how to. Yeah, but you did say pick of the week.
Well, now we're just going to start the whole show over, and I'm going to have to go through all the same jokes again. Okay, so no, that's my fault, Drew. But you will go first, and I'm going to pretend I didn't hear a damn thing you said. Let's go over our reading list first. Drew, what's your reading list? And who knows what
my
your
reading
pick of the
list
week could be. But what is your reading list?
My reading list was Absolute Green Lantern number 14. Absolute Superman number 19. Batman number 9. Poison Ivy number 44. Those were all my DC books. I got one Marvel book. I got Daredevil number 2. And I got a few different smaller publishers here. From Dynamite, I got The Muppets Noir number 3. From Image, I got If Destruction Be Our Lot number 1. From Mad Cave, I got Dog Tag number 1. And from Bad Idea, I got Hank Howard, Pizza Detective, A Slice of Life number 1.
Nice. I also like the way you organize that. And part of my brain that likes organization is like, oh, I should just force everybody to stick to that the way Drew just did it, kind of separating by publisher. God damn.
I didn't even really mean to do that. It's just I realized that's what I was doing in my hand, so I kind of just like went with it.
I mean, it's going to
Kinda
be
works,
tougher for me
honestly.
too.
It also, I don't know if you noticed, it was also in alphabetical order.
I did notice it when you started off with Absolute Green Lantern, and I was like, could it be?
Again, didn't
Not-
mean to do that, just kind of how it happened.
Now the format,
Aaron, do you need a couple minutes to reformat it in your head?
right, to reformat everything.
Because
You know
then
what?
I can prep some more images. Let's talk about Free Comic Book Day that was this last Saturday. Did you guys go to Free Comic Book Day?
I didn't get to go, and I'm furious.
I also did not get to go.
I had to work like a monster, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I stopped by my new home store because my home store moved and they moved away. So my new home store, which is also an amazing shop, it is a comic book hideout in Fullerton, California. And so they are really good, really organized, really packed for a Free Comic Book Day. And like people, like some of the free comics were gone, right? Because they only order a certain amount. And some of them were gone by the time I got there. And truth be told, I got there in the afternoon. They opened early that day. And so it was like, okay, fine. I know what I'm getting into, which is I'm getting, you know, only the ones that are available, but it's free. And then I bought some other comics because that's kind of what the comic book shop kind of wants you to do, right? Like they give out some free comics, you check out some other comics, you buy the ones that you don't have, and like it's a good day for comic shops. So for anyone out there who doesn't know what their home store is, go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you. Any of the comics that we talk about this episode or any of the other episodes, like you can find at your local comic shop. If anyone has any comic shops that they love, shout them out. And if anyone has any comic shops that are problematic, also shout out. We will tack on the word alleged in front of it, but I'm all for telling people to steer clear of allegedly problematic shops. But you guys didn't go to Free Comic Book Day?
No, I didn't make it. I the comic shop where I work, for some reason, they've noticed this. I've noticed it as well, but they called it out to me. For some reason, Free Comic Book Day is like a day that I'm super busy, like every year. And I try to like make time to pop in and just like grab something.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to this year at all, unfortunately. But I got a gripe with Free Comic Book Day. I got a gripe. It's not really with Free Comic Book Day. It's with the publishers.
Why? What happened?
It used to be about 10 years ago, they would have a Free Comic Book Day offering. Marvel DC would be like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing soon. Here's an original story that is like a 0 issue or something like that. Now it's just reprints.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, DC,
I miss a good 0 issue.
DC had a Lego Batman thing that ties in with the new Lego Batman game that's coming out.
That's cute. Marvel had one too. The Uncanny Avengers one. That was a last one though. But that was like what, 2003, 23. I mean,
for what? Wasn't it supposed to tie in with Avengers Armageddon or something?
No. Oh wait, that one came out. Oh, I forgot about that. I didn't get that. I need to find that out.
But again, that's not original stuff, right? It's like a preview. It's like preview pages, right? Is that kind of how it works?
Was it? I don't know, because I was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's preview pages. I haven't read it yet, so I got to see it.
Oh, okay.
Because most times it's like we could get like a Civil War 0, or sometimes we can get like just
I mean, it's funny you brought that up, but we'll definitely get into some of the stuff.
Oh, that's another one I read. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good, because I have that prepped because I read that one too. But
nice.
But I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to stall for a quick second,
I got
and
you.
then I'll be able to do that. But
Hmm.
what was interesting also, did you guys know the difference between Free Comic Book Day and Comics Giveaway Day?
The only, I mean, the only difference, as far as I know, is that it depends on the distributor.
Yeah, and then that affects what publisher. So Marvel
Yeah.
was Comics Giveaway Day, DC was Free Comic Book Day, as far as I remember, and then the other comic companies were split depending on the distributor.
Yeah.
Which you know is
Y'all,
fine because it doesn't really affect the consumer much.
mm,
I think what would
just do it
affect
on
it
one
is if
day.
they fell on different days.
Right.
Then I
As long
think
as,
it might split the crowd, and you don't want to
right.
split the crowd. I think all comic publishers benefit from all comic publishers showing up,
Right.
you know, but um, that's my personal opinion. But enough about opinions. Let's spit some straight hard facts with our reading lists. I got them all prepped now. Aaron, if you want to go next, or if you want me to go next, it's up to you.
Yeah, I can go next. I can go
Okay.
next. So my picks of the week are I wanna since we're I'm gonna follow Drew. I'm gonna start with Marvel this time though. My first pick is Storm number 4, X-Men 29, Cyclops number 4, Jubilee Deadly Reunion number 1, Astonishing Miles Morales Spider-Man The Art of the Whip number 1, the longest title in forever, and Civil War Unmasked. And I believe my next ones are Absolute GL, starting with DC, Batman Static Shock number 4, and wait, I think that's it. Yeah, and my only other comic is Ben 10. Wait, I think
From
there's another one.
Dynamite. Yeah.
Yeah, from Dynamite. Wait, I'm forgetting another one that I got at the end of at the buzzer. DC Sonic Hedgehog number 2, is it?
No, the Metal Legion
Is it?
one.
Yeah,
It is the
Metal Legion 1.
sequel.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That is good. That is good. And then really quick for me, because I want to get into Drew's pick, because I'm very curious on what Drew's pick of the week is going to be.
It's a
Yep.
mystery.
From DC, I read Batman number 9. I read Absolute Superman 19. I read JSA number 19 and DC X Sonic the Hedgehog the Metal Legion issue 1. From Marvel, I read Daredevil number 2, Storm 4, X-Men 29, Cyclops 4, Amazing Spider-Man 28, Fantastic Four number 10, Star Wars Rogue One, Cassian Andor, the one shot, Civil War Unmasked issue 1. And then from other publishers, I'm trying to see if I read anything from another publisher. No, I had some on my list that I wanted to get to, like Cruel Universe and whatnot, but I did not get to any other publishers this week. So, all right, that's my list. So, Drew, you're going to go first. What could your pick of the week be?
Well, it's funny you should ask. My pick of the week is it's not been revealed yet. So it is If Destruction Be Our Lot, #1 from Image Comics.
Oh my
It's
god.
Matthew and Mark Elijah Rosenberg and Andy McDonald on art.
Hmm.
So I'm a huge Matthew Rosenberg fan. I've been a fan of his since legitimately the very first comic he ever put out, which was a like it was a tie-in comic to in 2012 Ghostface Killa put out a new album called 12 Reasons to Die. And Matthew Rosenberg and another writer I'm a fan of, Patrick Kindlon, um, did they like co-wrote a tie-in comic together. And then they went on and did a bunch of other stuff together before each breaking off separately. Um, Patrick Kindlon he's the singer of a band I really like called Drug Church. And that was kind of how I became a fan of Matthew Rosenberg.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he's written so much cool stuff, but like he's really been breaking away from, he started off in like these smaller indie titles with a lot of like Black Mask Studios books. Then he kind of became like a dude at Marvel and a dude at DC for a little bit. And now he's been putting out a lot of these smaller titles. There was like What's the Furthest Place from Here, which is a book I loved. He did We're Taking Everyone Down With Us, which I bought every issue of, but didn't read a single one of yet. And I didn't want to get behind on this one. So I wanted to make sure I read this for today, which I'm actually really glad that this book came out on a week that I'm supposed to talk on here.
Yeah.
Because that ensures that I will read it.
Especially this month, because the final Wednesday of this month, we don't have Comic Talk. So if it came out on that one, you couldn't have done it.
So as far as what this book is about, so it's a futuristic story. It takes place in a world in which like humans don't exist. Like they've all been killed off.
Okay,
and
they did exist, but they don't exist now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so like all the inhabitants of this world are robots, and the main character is a robot of Abraham Lincoln that would like people would come and like watch an exhibit, and he would go through the speaps and be
like
like
an animatronic kind
yeah,
of. The Disneyland Hall of Presidents sort of thing.
kind of, yeah, like that. And it's really about him trying to like discover, is there more to life than just being a robot that was supposed to entertain humans in a world where humans don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And he's getting clowned on by like other robots. He makes friends with a bus.
Okay. It's like a self-driving bus. That's why it's a robot?
Kind of,
or
yeah.
do machines become robots like in Transformers?
No, it's like this
iRobot situation.
It's a robotic. So it's a robotic bus that has to be controlled by another robot that is like built into it.
Oh, okay.
And Lincoln, he pulls the driver out of it and drives it himself. But he still like talks with the like the operating system.
Yeah.
That is in the bus, and like
I feel like I just have to read this.
I am so intrigued in this.
It's on my
list.
What? I just didn't get to it.
It's very
What is it called again?
It's called If Destruction Be Our Lot. And I mean the title comes from a speech that Lincoln made. And the full quote is in the book, which I think tells you like what the book is going to be about. Where he says, let me find it. I'm losing it. I know.
It's all right. And then, I hope after this, Aaron, you got your pick of the week.
But yeah,
I still have to figure out mine. But anyway, Drew, finish up. Yeah.
It is I think it's important to like the whole thing about like Lincoln is like it's not that just there to be tongue in cheek. It is very much like this is going to be a very political book, and there's like references to Lincoln throughout it. For example, he mentions very explicitly that there haven't been any humans seen in the world for 87 years, and 87 is 77 years.
Yeah. That's funny.
Just like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's very clearly going to be a book about like how humans are responsible for their own destruction. And what's going on in our world right now is our fault.
Yeah, of course. Okay. I mean, it was on my list to begin with, and I wanted to check it out. So you further solidified that I'm going to read it over this weekend. And that's kind of the double-edged sword of this show.
I got the quote. It's
Okay.
if destruction be our lot, we ourselves must be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men, we must live forever or die by suicide.
Yeah. So it's basically the through line of the comic.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
I like it.
All
Okay.
right. All right.
And it's
Um,
yeah, it's very high concept and I loved it.
it robots like autonomous robots have been popping up a lot in fiction lately. I mean, of course, Terminator and all that, but I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking like White
I
House
robot.
robot romance,
I think
which I
I
didn't get
think
to finish, but I was like 2 issues in, and that's also kind of almost like brink of dystopia.
yeah. Well, I mean it's just very I think that that's just authors and artists responding to like the very sudden rise in artificial intelligence, like becoming this thing that now exists. And nobody really wants it except the people who serve to make money off of it. And
Right.
so like it's just being forced upon us. Um,
Yeah,
and everybody like it's making everything worse.
it's
Right.
funny because people bring up with the AI stuff is that if you fire your workforce in order to use AI to sell, then who is buying your product if everybody's unemployed?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I see it in my job all the time. It's a common interview question now. Going in for teaching jobs, they say, "How will you use artificial intelligence in your classroom?" It's not a will you, it's how will you do it?
Yeah,
And um, I'm certain that I'm getting passed up for jobs because I'm just saying I wouldn't do that because I think it's unethical.
yeah,
It's the valid answer, right?
yeah. But
I got
what are you gonna
students at
do?
school telling me other teachers are like, "Oh, you have to use AI for this assignment because we're trying to teach you how to use it responsibly." And I'm just like,
Yeah.
they keep being told like, "Oh, it's the future." And I'm just like, "Is it?" Because it kind of seems
Right.
like like it's a fad that's going away already.
And
Right.
also,
And
it's a very faulty, flawed system to the
yes.
point where people will. We move on from this, but people when I host trivia will sometimes say, "Hey, I looked this up and your answer was wrong," and I go, "Okay, that's fair. Like contest it.
Right.
I'll look into it. What was the answer you got, and like where did you find it?" And they show me Google AI overview, the little
Yes.
summary at the top, and I'm like,
Yep.
"No, no, 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 no. Click into a link. Show me that link.
Right.
Find the thing. You can't tell me a box office gross off the AI
Exactly.
overview because it's a lot of the
I
time
had
it's getting mixed up with other stuff."
I had a student tell me in a project that and they got it from AI, the Google AI overview,
Yeah.
that Tim Burton was won Best Director at the Oscars for Batman in 1990.
In 1990, that's not even the right year. But
Well,
yeah,
if the movie came out in 89, then the
yeah. Oh, yeah.
1990
You're right. You're
Oscars.
right.
But I
Um,
was just like, that's not true. That just didn't
no,
happen.
Right.
no. Or Tim Burton directed Nightmare Before Christmas. He didn't.
Ugh.
He's not the director of that. A lot of people get that one wrong. All right. So we gotta move on though. But I am definitely gonna be reading If Destruction Be Our Lot.
Right.
Okay. Aaron, you want to go next?
Yes. So my pick of the week of is Storm number 4. I enjoyed it because it gave me more time to get with this Thunder War, to really see her like get into being just of her own, like even with like the thing she talks to, I talked with Scarlet Witch, of saying just like, I've done all this. I've done more of this. I've done been an Avenger. I've done all these things, but it's my first time being a solo hero. And the fact that you kind of see her like do this kind of war, and oh my gosh,
There's like a big mythological god war going on right now, right?
yes, the Thunder War. I don't know why my thing is messing up. But yeah, like I'm enjoying what she's doing with the Thunder War thing. This whole Okay, so this is my thing about it, my gripe about it. The reason I was excited for this issue. So they were, premiering this as she's going to meet, we're going to find out who the father of her child is, and
Yeah.
we're finally going to get the answer that we've been waiting for months for. This is my problem. We only saw like an a page of her, and then nothing. Like,
Yeah. Well, that was your gripe about it. And it's funny, it's
yeah,
your pick of the week, but it's your gripe about it. My gripe about it was they introduced her daughter in an alternate Earth of the multiverse,
that
not Marvel 616. So you're kind of gearing up for Faraha, but like it's not.
would be
So
nothing.
like there's nothing special about Faraha if she's a multiversal child because in
Right.
the multiverse, like we've seen children of the X-Men, of the Avengers, like we've
We've
seen all of them before in other universes in the multiverse. So unless the insinuation is that that is the 616 version and she's able to go through the multiverse. Like I don't know. It was
I'm kind of hoping that she's going to be like she's an inevitability to her future, because just with the whole fact of her meeting Storm meeting her alternate mother Nidair in this reality and trying to figure out what that all means. I'm hoping that this just means like she is something that will happen, is just an alternate version of her daughter. But that's what infuriated me also when I saw 6319 whatever the fuck, and I'm like, what are we doing here? I was like, that doesn't
yeah.
get solidify our answer to, will she find like will she have that child? It just gives us an alternate version, and like you said, we've seen very many alternate versions of X-Men children, specifically Storm's children. We've seen versions of her with Forge's child, with
Or
Black
like
Panther's
Black
child.
Panther child, yeah, yeah.
Like it's everywhere, and like now we waited months for you to be like, okay, this is, you're gonna find out who the child is, and just for us to find out, see her older, I guess,
Or like
and
know
with
who
her
the father is.
powers.
We don't know who the father is, but the father
We have
doesn't
no idea
matter
who the father is.
if it's a different universe.
Alternate
Like
universe. It makes no, like, it has no bearing on what we're doing now. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, they talk about the multiverse being an omniverse, which is a cluster of multiverses, which people had pointed out that she goes to the DC universe last
hmm,
issue because in the background you can see the source wall. And I didn't take it, and it said from outside the multiverse, but I didn't take it as
ah,
DC, but I took it as DC inspired. People were like, well,
uh-huh.
Storm has gone to the DC universe because of the
And
source
they were
wall.
doing a lot of Olympus stuff, so it makes
But
sense.
but I didn't see it as she went to the DC universe. I saw it as the source wall exists in the Marvel multiverse as well
Yes.
because it is the wall at the edge of the universe
At
essentially.
the
So the source
I can see
wall is
that.
a omniversal concept,
Omniverse.
you
Yeah, I
know?
can very much see that
Unless you
actually.
saw a character in the source wall that you would see in DC, like Darkseid. If Darkseid was there, then
Right.
whatever. But like, I didn't buy it as like. So anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
It
I
is what
but
it
I
is.
also very much appreciated I like the Mistress of Death. I very much love the through line of her being the only mutant really who hasn't gone through resurrection. The fact of that, and like the whole thing of them trying to go through the void, or them trying to escape the underworld, trying to go through the underworld. The opponents of them, I guess. Who is the thunder god that she has trapped? I guess
I don't know. It's so hard to keep track of Storm stuff right
it's so
now. It's not
many.
exactly what I want from a Storm book,
Yeah,
but
it's a lot happening. That's what's going on.
this issue was better for me, at least. I
Yeah,
liked this issue better. So,
it was kind of all over the place, and that's why my answer is all over the place, because I'm like, I don't know where to start with them, because we're dealing with the opposition of them trying to go through the underworld and get the Legion of the Dead, while also Storm going through the omniverse and us finding out a lot more about the multiverse.
yeah.
So
I mean,
I
my favorite part was the Greek gods and stuff, like that sort of
yes,
thing. Like,
yeah,
cool, it's familiar, but
right.
It is a little confused. The Storm series is a little confusing.
It's a little confusing right now. Yeah. But I do like the omniversal part of it also, like
Yeah.
seeing the different like multiverses. But yeah, it was a solid book. It's getting somewhere and not leaving me questioning everything, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. My pick of the week this week. Those are both great picks. My pick of the week. I wasn't sure whether I was gonna pick another one that was just like really fun, but this one was fun too. It was just though it was the finale. My pick of the week this week is Fantastic Four issue number 10, written by Ryan North, art by Umberto Ramos. This story arc has to do with the Invincible Woman, which is and this is confusing, not a multiversal variant of Sue Storm, but a literal variant from the same universe because space is now expanding. It's weird. Anyway, the point being is she came from a different part of the universe and she is Sue Storm if she was more powerful and cut out a part of herself that has empathy. So she gave herself a lobotomy essentially, and she's just an evil version, very malice inspired, that the Fantastic Four has to defeat. But she's literally like Sue Storm times 100 because she's utilizing all different like wavelengths of the spectrums and stuff, and she's like mastered her powers. And she comes to Earth finally, and everybody has to team up to defeat her. And it's just a really good book. Ryan North is a really good Fantastic Four writer, and I'm loving his stuff on The Flash right now because he's writing both Fantastic Four and The Flash for DC Comics, right? And so he's just a good writer. If you like science fiction with science in it, it's fun. So I did like this issue, and I don't want to spoil too much about what happens, but it is a good one.
Do
I don't know
either
if
of
you
you?
guys are reading it.
I'm not. I'm not. Do either of you know the dinosaur comics from like shoot almost 20 years ago? Do you know what I'm talking about?
What are the dinosaur comics?
It was like a web comic that it was the same like 6 panels every single day of two dinosaurs talking while they're like destroying like a log cabin. Um
No.
and the text changed every single day.
Okay.
But or I don't know if it was every day or if it was every week, but it was like it was the same every single installment was the same panels.
Okay.
Um I used to read those my long time ago. My friends and I discovered them, and we used to read them. And I'm just now finding out recently that Ryan North was the creator of that. Uh, and he's just kind of like, I don't know. He started with that, and now he's writing Fantastic Four and Flash and a few other things. I mean, he wrote the Crypto book,
Yeah.
which is like on the one hand, that's been crazy inspiring to me because you can literally make a career out of like being creative with what you've got. I can't draw at all. I'm
Right.
assuming that Ryan North is not an artist, but he wrote comics using clip art, the
Yeah.
same clip art every day. Um, and it helped him advance a career. On the other hand, that was so smart that now nobody can do it.
I mean, that's the thing about innovation. Like innovation
Right.
will be copied.
Yeah.
Your innovative idea will be copied, and you only have the amount of lead time it takes to produce. Because once you exhibit it, then it's ripe for taking, and people
Yeah.
will take it or learn from it. Maybe they won't take it, but they'll learn from the lessons that you just learned. And
Mhm.
you only have the X amount of time that it took from conception to exhibition. That's the only lead time you have. So hopefully you're on to something else. Otherwise, you fall behind. It is what it is.
Yeah. But I started out reading that his first Fantastic Four run. I fell behind on it and then ended up dropping the book. But I really enjoyed what I was reading. I am also reading his Flash, and I think it's great.
I haven't been able to talk to you about that, but that's another time. Because it didn't come out this week. But damn, I like his the idea for this Flash run that's going on right now. It's so good.
It's really cool, yeah.
Yeah. What did I say my pick of the week was? Fantastic Four number 10. Yeah, that's good. I was also gonna pick, and I wanna touch on it. Patrick Martin 9163, shout out to you, saying, would this current Fantastic Four run be a good entry point into the team, or is it a different run better? Is a different run better for someone who's new to them? So here's the quick thing before I move on. Marvel has a thing where they like to start back at number 1, even if it is the same creative team. So Ryan North wrote the previous run of Fantastic Four, and then it restarted, and he wrote number 1 onwards to now number 10. Do you want to start at this run's number 1? If you've read Fantastic Four comics before, doesn't mean this previous one, you could jump in on Ryan North's issue number 1 of this run and then continue. This run starts off with separating the 4, so it isn't good if you're trying to get used to the team, like if it's your first time. But if it's not your first time, sure, start with number 1 and you move into now, 10 issues later. But if you're new to Fantastic Four, I would say start with Ryan North's first run as an amazing starting off point and then work your way through. And I think that's good. So it really depends on your experience. It's not a one-size-fits-all sort of thing. If you want to binge, go for it. If you don't, start with issue 1 here, work your way to 10. Technically, if you don't even want to do that, you can start at this is 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So issue 6 is the start of the Invincible Woman story arc. You could just start there. Technically, if you don't want to binge, just do this story arc. So hope that answers your question, Patrick Martin 9163. Who read the DC Sonic team up? Okay.
I did.
Aaron, tell me about it, because I loved the first run of this, the DC X Sonic the Hedgehog, no subtitle. This one's the Metal Legion issue 1, and it's essentially the sequel to the miniseries that came out last year. How'd you like this one, and how'd you get into this one?
I randomly decided to read this one because I had some more time. I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what this one's about. I didn't know it was a sequel to the first one, but honestly, reading it, you catch the drift of what's going on. And I like the matchups of who they got with. It was a fun little a fun little thing with them, especially with Sonic and Flash, who you knew were going to team up. In the Knuckles and Superman aspect of it, Amy and everybody.
Yeah.
It was a fun little the people who you thought were going to team up kind of teamed up, and then we kind of got the newer characters of Sonic the Hedgehog who I thought were cool to put in with everybody. So I was like, okay, this is a nice little. We even got what's the Silver Hedgehog's name? Silver? No,
I think his name is Silver.
Literally Silver. Yeah.
See, I don't know. Here's the thing about Sonic. I love Sonic, but I don't know the lore, because I played it back on Sega Genesis as a kid, and I watched the cartoons, and then at a certain point I stopped watching that, and then I kind of not that I grew out of Sonic, but Sonic stopped mattering at a certain point, both as I was growing up or whatever. But now there's so much lore. The comics go into so much stuff. I didn't know there's a hedgehog from the future that's Silver, and Silver's in this, and Silver gets a Green Lantern ring. So in the original series, the villain is Darkseid. So it is a lot of Darkseid parademons, even Granny Goodness, and those Fourth World characters are in the original 6-issue miniseries that came out last year. And in this one, I'm not a big fan of Darkseid because I think he's overused. It worked because they kind of sillied him up a little bit. He was kind of silly. But in this one, I'm very excited for this one. Because not only do you get the matchups where Sonic is friends with Flash, Knuckles is friends with Superman, Amy is friends with Wonder Woman,
Supergirl.
Batman and Shadow are friends, Not only do you get that, Tails has cyborgs, and it makes sense.
Voice dips into Tails.
Yeah, it's so fun. Not only that, we get more mashups in this with... She wasn't in this issue, but she's on a cover. The bat the
She was
vampire.
in it.
What's her name?
Rouge.
Rouge.
Yeah.
Rouge is gonna hang out with Catwoman, and so like that's the mashup there. And
Yeah.
then the little Cream is gonna hang out with
Cream and
Supergirl,
Supergirl.
and Cheese is gonna hang
Yeah.
out with Crypto, the super dog. Like all these little things, and the art is amazing.
And Dr. Egg, what's his name? Dr. Egg or whatever.
Dr. Eggman or Dr.
Eggman is
Robotnik.
working with Lex Luthor at the
Yeah,
end. I was like, this is a team up that I can get behind. I was like, they
yeah,
stroke each other's ego in the perfect way,
yeah.
and it's also like it's like very comical and it's fun. I was like, okay,
Uh,
I'm interested.
yeah. And I mean, the premise of this kicking off is that somebody's created portals that link Sonic's world with the DC world, and so there's free access back and forth, and it's just all over the place. Everybody can enter the portal, but nobody knows who created it. And at the end, Dr. Robotnik and Lex essentially have their Legion of Doom. And then I realized what the title is, the Metal Legion. I think they're going to make robot versions of the Legion of Doom. I think that kind of like Metal Sonic. I think that's what it is, the Metal Legion. This is the Legion of Doom. So, you know, it's really fun. I don't know. This is just a fun book.
It's a fun book, yeah.
Is it going to change your life? Maybe if you need more joy in your life, sure.
Yeah.
It's a very joyful book. But
right.
like, is it tackling class consciousness? No.
Yeah, do you need a good heavy storyline to get into? This may not be for you, but
Yeah.
if you need a good little, whimsical jaunt, this is gonna be the book that you want to get into,
It's
You wanna
fun.
have a little
Yeah.
gander.
Even on the side note of like in the original series, Flash goes to Sonic's like world, and he's like, you have roads that have loop-de-loops.
Yeah.
And like he runs it, right? So like that's just super fun because like yeah, in DC there's no loop-de-loop roads.
Right.
But like Flash would love that.
Oh yeah, he would adore this.
So I think it's super fun book. Drew, you read Batman #9?
I definitely did.
Tell me about it.
Did you read Batman #9?
I read it. Aaron, did you read it?
No.
Aaron, what the hell, man?
You know me. I love Bruce and his family, not Bruce as a.
You'll be good with this run. This Matt Fraction run is all
It's a
about
lot of family stuff.
It's a lot of family stuff.
This issue was a family issue.
It
You guys
was.
gonna make me read Batman stuff. I hate it every time and then I'm like, and I'm not gonna lie. Every time I end up reading a Batman thing, I don't. Hate it.
Yeah.
I love Batman when he's with his family. So
I mean, I'm a big fan of the Bat family too, but that's what this run is kind of about, is like fleshing that out. Drew, hit us with it.
Do it.
So it is one of the great things about this this Fraction run so far has been that there is an overarching story, but every issue kind of feels like its own like self-contained story. And so I think that this one is probably the first to a larger story, but it still like is one that you could literally just pick up and read. It's mostly about Vandal Savage, who is now the police commissioner, is making moves on the vigilantes. And really trying to like push for a vigilante-free Gotham City. And Poison Ivy is the mayor and is kind of just not paying attention to this because she's got other stuff to worry about in her own book. So it's kind of just like, she's like, yeah, whatever, do that.
Is she mayor of Gotham in her own book?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's where it happened. I haven't been keeping up with that one.
And so this whole issue is about Bruce telling the Bat family to, hey, like, pack up your stuff because they're coming for us, and keep what you want, but like, we're destroying all the evidence so that they can't have anything on us.
Like the armory, right?
Yeah.
Like all their gadgets and all that stuff.
Yeah, which it does it. First of all, it does a couple things. Number one, Signal's here, and we don't see Signal enough.
Finally.
Number two, uh, Azrael is here, but not Jean-Paul Valley. It's Michael. From
Who's Michael?
Michael is he's the second Azrael. He is way back in Grant Morrison's run.
Mm.
Uh, there was an issue. There was a short storyline about like the Gotham City Police Department was trying to make a second Batman
Yeah.
in case Batman ever got like killed. And of course, it's like, a Grant Morrison kind of like they did this in the Silver Age, so now we need to
Yeah.
make it like now. And um, Michael was a police officer who was part of this program, and then he became a member of the Order of the Saint Dumas. So he is
Saint Dumbass?
yeah. And so he is part of the same like the same religious sect that Jean-Paul Valley was,
Yeah.
but he was never evil. Like he never had the kind of the push in morality.
Yeah.
He's a kind of a gray character because the Order of Saint Dumas is gray, but yeah, and he's like, I think he's a really cool version of Azrael, and we haven't seen him in a really long time, so I was excited to see him again. He's not in this for very long; it's only like one panel, but they at least acknowledge his existence.
He was the Azrael, and I'm looking it up. He's the Azrael that is in the Battle for the Cowl story arc.
Yes, yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Back in 2009. Okay.
And it's really about all the members of the Bat family trying to work together to mitigate this problem. On top of that, you have a really great moment where Aaron, I don't know if you know any of this at all, but Alfred has been dead for
Yeah.
like a while now.
Right. Rest in peace,
But
King.
there is a version of Alfred that exists in the current Batman run that is a lot of people suspected that it was like an AI like hologram
Yeah.
projection, but Matt Fraction has gone on to say it's not. This is just like Bruce is just seeing visions
It's a
of
figment of his
Alfred.
imagination, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, Bruce
And
Willis. Yeah. Mhm.
and so he shows up, and there's a great moment here where like in a recent issue Damian messed up pretty badly, and Bruce is being a little hard on him, and so like the figment, the Alfred that lives inside Bruce is chastising him for being too hard on Damian. And there, I mean, it's a great moment here where Alfred says to him, uh, essentially like Damien doesn't know what to do when he messes up because you pretend like you're always perfect and you never showed him what it's like to mess up and how to recover from it. And Bruce is just like, well, yeah, I'm Batman. I have to be perfect. And he's like, yeah, but Damien's dad isn't Batman.
Right.
So
Yeah.
there's like a through line of him like learning to forgive Damien and like be a little nicer to him. And then we're continuing the story of Tim has kind of taken some time off from being Robin, and so all this stuff is happening, and he's cooking dinner for his boyfriend, and then thinking, "Boy, I sure wish that I was out there," you know.
Is he still with the pink-haired one?
No, you're thinking about Jonathan Kent.
I'm thinking about Jonathan's.
Yeah.
You're right.
No,
You're right.
Tim
Totally
Tim is
am.
still with Bernard, and so like
So
I
I don't approve of either of their boyfriends.
you don't like either of them?
I don't like either of their
Yeah.
boyfriends. Both of them could do better, but that's just me. I don't know.
But like,
yeah.
the thing that I really liked about this issue is that yes, it's like a big action sequence. The whole issue is one big action sequence, but we get to and it's mostly like car chases, and motorcycle chases. But we also get these little character moments like, like somebody says, "Hey, where's Tim?" And Damien says he's not with us. He's, he's with his guy. And Stephanie is very clearly jealous of that.
Yeah,
Um,
a little perturbed. Yeah.
yeah, and and then like you get the sequence with the, imaginary Alfred. You get uh a great little like monologue from Oracle all throughout this.
And
And it culminates with some pretty big changes in the status quo.
let me just
Oh,
base I mean, spoiler for anyone out there, but the end of this issue sets up Barbara Gordon Breakout, which is Barbara Gordon goes to prison. So, like, that's what that DC Next Level title is that's
yeah, I
coming out.
saw her in the
Yeah.
Yeah,
orange
And they've been
jumpsuit,
showing
and I was
preview
like, what?
pages lately
Yeah.
yeah.
of her,
Ah,
So
like, beating up a girl in prison.
this issue does end with
yes.
the arrest, so now we know why she's in prison. But it also ends, and I'm gonna I'm gonna throw another spoiler out there. Uh, Bruce and Damien blow up the mansion. They blow
Yeah.
up Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
What?
Cool, because they're not living there anymore, right?
Okay.
Vandal Savage is in the
I have
Batcave, right?
so
Like,
many
doesn't he have
questions.
access to the Batcave now?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Does he know who Bruce
Yeah.
is?
He does, yeah.
Oh, does Poison Ivy know who Bruce is?
I don't know.
I think yes. I think the thing is, I think that DC kind of doesn't care about keeping
Yeah.
his secret identities don't make sense in the modern age because everybody can figure out who anybody is.
Pretty.
So I think that they're just kind of moving away from it and mostly just like keeping it a secret from the public, like when it
Right.
matters. But
Doing
Yeah.
like
like
an honor system
the
kind of.
villains don't care who Batman is.
Right.
Well, I mean, I would think in a story element, the idea that, like, if all your
You would
villains
want
know who
to.
you are, they can track you down and find you during the
Right.
day.
Sure, but he's still Batman during the day.
Yeah.
And
Like,
like
you,
the
yeah.
whole thing about like, oh, they can hurt my loved ones doesn't really apply to Batman anymore because everyone he knows is a member of the
All
Bat
his family
family.
is the
Yeah.
bat. Yeah.
And also, yeah, Batman isn't like dating Silver St. Cloud anymore. Like, he's not dating
Oh,
like
jeez.
normal,
Right.
like hot girls. He's dating
Right.
hot girls who are also fighters. Like, you know,
That
like,
part.
what are you gonna do? So, that's Batman number 9. We gotta pick up the pace and hit literally everything else on our list because we talked a lot. Did you guys read Batgirl number 19 or did
I didn't.
no, didn't get a chance. That's fair.
I love the sounds of
I
it.
dropped off a couple issues ago, so I haven't read that one. Patrick Martin 9163 says that he read Batman number 9, excited about what's going to happen next. If Destruction Be Our Lot is his anticipated read, and Daredevil number 2. So, I mean, let's talk about Daredevil number 2 while we're here.
Let's do that.
Because Aaron, did you read this one?
No, that was the one I was going to read, but I forgot.
All right, quick thoughts, Drew, on Daredevil number 2 before we move on.
This is my favorite thing that I've read from Stephanie Phillips.
Okay.
I mean, it's 2 issues in, and I can already say that it is. I think that I think she has a great voice for Matt.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of Daredevil. I haven't read everything, but I've read a lot. And yeah, I think that she captures his voice really well. I like the change in his profession where he's like teaching law
Yeah.
now. These detective characters who are investigating like stuff, related to him. I like them a lot. I like seeing him in the classroom. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm really into this run so far.
Who's Foggy dating?
I don't know.
I wasn't sure if it was a secret or if I missed something, but he's dating a black girl. That's what I could tell from the
Nice.
from the
Both of them dating sisters?
I thought it was Kirsten McDuffie, but
would be cute.
Matt dated her, and I don't feel like they would date the same people. I could be wrong.
Dang, I don't know.
I don't know because like in the first page, like Matt calls Foggy and is like, "Hey man, I need you to go teach my class for me." And he's just like, "I'm in Miami.
Yeah.
I had a meeting and it went really well, you know."
Oh,
And
is it a
so
hint that it's a one night stand?
it implies that it's like somebody he just met.
Oh. Because I was
Mm,
thinking to myself, like, yeah, I
okay.
mean,
Okay.
Daredevil lore doesn't have like, too many at all. Like, I'm trying to think of like black men, black women, black
Yeah.
characters at all, and like Daredevil mythos doesn't really have that much. But
Right.
Kirsten McDuffie, sure, and that's
I mean, the fact that Daredevil was messing with a black girl in the last iteration in the last
was that Kirsten
arc.
McDuffie?
No, it was somebody else, apparently from like from his like previous past or whatever,
Oh,
like from previous books.
I
But
missed
yeah,
that.
like he
Are
was
you talking
like
about
they were having casual. They were just like he was living with her at one point. I think at the end
are
of
you
that
talking
book.
about during the Saladin Ahmed run?
Yes,
Man,
Oh,
who was that? I cannot
I
I
did
remember.
drop
forgot her
off of that
name.
one, so maybe I missed
Right.
that.
I read the whole run.
I didn't get to finish the run. I'm mad because I want to know. I did want to know what happened after that. Like I just saw him like after the fungus, and he like healed himself, forced his body to heal himself. So
Mm.
I'm like, okay, because it's just who he
I
is,
want to
you
go
know.
back and read that, but we gotta move on to the
Yeah,
rest of the stuff. But I will say that I think Daredevil is a very consistently well written like
yeah,
character. Like he
it's
like
been
There's
getting better.
very
there's just
consistent.
Marvel just is very like they are very protective of who writes Daredevil
Hmm.
just because they know there's this tradition of like pretty much since the late 70s or early 80s, whenever Frank Miller took over, it's just been like banger series after banger
Hmm.
series.
Yeah, yeah. I really I don't think I can think of, and I know people out there will have their favorites and they're the favorites they love to hate, sure. But I can't think of a Daredevil writer that was bad. I can't.
I've like I said, I've read a lot of Daredevil and I always come in with pretty high expectations. And there are times when something doesn't hold up to those expectations, but I don't think it's bad. It's
Yeah,
just not quite like, oh, I
Right.
wanted this to, it's like I wanted this to be more.
right.
But
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, I mean, in the time that I've been reading comics, I really can't think of a Daredevil run that I was just like, I'm not gonna read that.
yeah,
There have been ones that have not been to my taste, and so I haven't finished the run, but that's a different story altogether.
yeah. Real quick, then let's move on. We're gonna take this thematically in a way. Let's talk about the Absolute comics that came out this week. Absolute Superman number 19. Quick thoughts about this one. I don't know who read it. I read
I
it.
did.
Um, how'd you feel? Quick thoughts.
I thought it was really good. I really like Absolute Steel.
Yeah, Absolute Steel is pretty cool. I don't like his outfit, that welder's helmet or whatever it is, but like Absolute Steel is very capable, which I
Yeah.
thought was cool.
Well, I like how they tied him into the larger narrative that he designed the Peacemaker's helmets.
Yeah,
I liked that a lot. And then he got screwed over by the corporation, which is I mean, that is very in line with like everything that they've been putting in the book.
yeah,
Um, and another thing that I like is just that I like that Ra's al Ghul like turned a new leaf. He didn't like fake it. He
yeah.
actually did like feel remorse for his actions just because of being around Superman, which is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I'll be right, guys.
yeah. And that I mean that's it's just really crazy for a character to do that, let alone like a person in real life. But like Superman changes people, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And I think I've always maintained that if Superman really existed, if we were to like I know that like I'm a big Watchmen guy, and Watchmen is essentially like if Superman existed, it would alter the course of human history for the worse. But
yeah, it's very cynical.
I genuinely think that if like Superman as we know him was real, he would inspire so much good in the world that like a lot of the problems we face would just go away within a couple decades.
I disagree because I am of the opinion that absolute DC universe, the Earth, is akin to ours. Like our Earth in real life is like absolute. Like I think that's in my head the opinion that I have. That's my theory. It's not
Sure.
exactly, but like whereas we can't say that why can't our Earth be like the DC Prime Earth because they're just in the Prime Earth good triumphs over evil. That is part
Yeah.
of the fabric of that universe. But in the absolute DC universe, the question is in a universe woven with the soul of desperation, despair, corruption, can we still win? Can good still win? Which is the same thesis and question to our universe.
Yeah.
So the idea with the absolute universe is that like yeah, corporations still like own things and like own everybody and like whatever. But good can prevail? Sure.
Yes, but oh man, we could do a whole episode
We
on
can't go into this. Yeah. You got like a 5 second like a sentence that you want to say and we'll move on.
No.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know. Absolute Green Lantern number 14.
I liked it. I like Absolute Green Lantern quite a bit.
Okay.
I do too. Yeah,
Are you
it is
reading this
one of
one,
my
Aaron?
Yeah, I'm reading this one. I'm very much caught up on this, and I very much liked it. I'm curious to see where they go with the pink light now that Hell's now a different color,
Mm.
and see where they go with that. I like that they use Tomar as like a descriptive, not like just like as his name, but it's like a Tomar of each. He's trying to get a Tomar of each light.
Mm.
I'm interested in seeing where they go with that too.
What is
Like
Tomar Ray? This Tomar light. Is it red?
Mhm.
yes.
Okay.
You're
Cool.
right, and he's trying to find. He calls her, and Tomar Ray calls her Tomar Joe, and like I'm like I kind of like that, and he's like he's someone who I forgot how he describes it as someone who isn't taught the ways or the rules of the regular light green light, but has to learn in their own kind of way, and kind of essentially breaks the mold of what the essentially the order
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tomar is like it's a person who is like strong enough to be able to take control of the the spectrum that has now
Right,
embodied them, right?
Okay.
right.
I mean, that sounds super cool. We got to move on, but I dropped off a long time ago. But everything I hear about this run is like, it just gets better and better and more
Yeah.
enticing for me to hop on. So I need to get on that. All right, we got to like really hammer this out. X-Men number 29. I know Aaron and I read this one. I like this a lot, and there's a
I
lot
do.
of like the romance between Psylocke and Grey Crow is like
Oh,
one of my
love it.
favorites.
It's my
Um,
favorite thing in the world about the book.
there were a lot of character moments in this issue,
Yes.
not so much plot. But you had any quick
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, I always love I think we both agree. We love the Cyclops Grey Crow romance, and the fact of how he supports her, and the fact that he supports her means he supports the X-Men, and the way they go about that, and also the outrage of going into Globe. I don't want him to be dead, but I feel like he's dead. But
Oh,
like
Glob Herman.
the yeah, Glob Herman, and
Yeah,
like and Quentin and Temper going into the city and just going off me like we're going to who's the shooter? Bring out the shooter, or we're going to figure out who it is. And that kind of outrage, because I very much understood it, but
they're
it's
being
very much an
manipulated though.
experience for it.
You know.
Yes, very much so. You can tell through the whole thing they're being manipulated, and I'm very excited to see where this goes and like what the aftermath of this is going to be. I
Yeah.
really hope Glob isn't dead. I
Yeah.
just like I finally started caring about him, and
Yeah.
they should kill him. Like
Quick
okay,
thoughts
yeah,
about Cyclops issue 4. I'm loving this Cyclops solo series. He
I
is
am
just a
too.
badass. I mean, that's just really what this series is all about. He's stuck in the
It
forest without his
is.
visor, and there are anti-mutant cyborgs essentially hunting him, right? Like that's kind of what it is.
Like he's essentially a mutant Rambo kind of, but but blind and like going through the forest, just like beating people's asses. Like, and it is also he's just proving more and more that he's the badass that was chosen. There's a reason he was chosen to be the X-Men.
Yeah.
And yeah, put respect on that boy's name, I guess.
Yeah. And then Jubilee Deadly Reunion. I didn't read this one. But did you like it?
It was good. I
Okay.
actually very much liked it, and I was surprised how much I liked it.
Okay.
I very much recommend this. It was I think it was it was
Gene Luen Yang, I believe, who wrote Superman Smashes the Klan. I think it's the same
okay.
writer.
Okay, nice. And they introduced her cousin, who is the son of the aunt that she her aunt Hope, who's an assassin.
Yeah,
And her cousin is a government official in Japan, in China,
yeah.
and it's ironic that his mother's an assassin.
Yeah.
So and like he's also a mutant, and it also was a cool little like reunion for her. I didn't expect me to like it that much, but it was very good though.
Okay. Man, we are so low on time. All right, I'm gonna hammer out some things that I think only I read. Amazing Spider-Man 28. It's the aftermath of Death Spiral. It was cool, just some character moments. Not so much happened. JSA issue number 19 from DC Comics. This one was very character heavy. The Spectre is coming back, but it's a threat to everybody. There's a lot of romance in this book. There's a lot of character, so I like that because I like shipping. So, have at it. There's they hint at something with Jakeem Thunder and Stargirl, which is like stars. Star Kid, whatever. What am I saying?
Star Spangled Kid.
Star Spangled Kid. And so they kind of hint at something like he has a crush, and they also hint that Dr. Fate, Khalid, has a crush on Cyclone. And
they brought back the lead, yay!
Yeah, so they hint at that. They hint at also Wildcat, the girl Wildcat was looking good. So like there's a lot going on in this issue, and it's a lot of they hint at Sandman and Jade. There's a lot of romance stuff.
That's Jakeem Thunder. I forgot about that.
So,
sorry.
Yeah. So JSA, I mean, this is what I dig. So give me exactly what I need. Star Wars Rogue One, Cassian Andor one shot. I just love Andor. It's my favorite Star Wars thing. And this literally bridges the gap in the 30 minutes to an hour that takes place in between the end of Andor season 2 and the beginning of Rogue One. So it's all about him on Kafrene. That's it. And it's just an hour of this interstitial moment. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all that I read that you guys didn't read. Real quick, Drew, tell me about Dog Tag number 1. But literally real quick.
Dog Tag number 1 is a World War II book about a journalist his whole job is to put out publications that make people think that D-Day is not going to happen, so that when it does happen, everybody's surprised. And he learns the hard way that there's a scene in it when he's just like, I can't believe we did all this and all these people died. And a person is just like, yeah, dude, this is what victory in war is, and it's just dead people.
Is it a series, a mini series, a one shot? What is it?
It'll be a mini series. There's a second issue coming out.
Okay, all right. Mad Cave Studios.
Yeah, it was really good. I'll read anything Mark Russell writes.
Ooh, it's Mark Russell. Okay.
Yep.
Very nice. I'm waiting for the Dog Tag Flintstones crossover.
There you go.
Because he wrote the most amazing Flintstones comic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That I've ever read, in my life. Just, I don't know how to. If anyone wants to check it out, check out that Flintstones comic. You also read Poison Ivy 44?
I did. She's mayor of Gotham, and she is corrupt, and she thinks that's okay.
Cool.
That's what the issue's about.
Cool. I mean, if anyone hasn't jumped on Poison Ivy by now, aka, not that I haven't jumped on, I fell off at a certain point. I need to jump back on. But if you've never read it, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so good. It's like consistently on the top of people's like lists of best comics.
Yeah. It's one of
Um,
the things I reach for every week when I sit down to read.
yeah, it's
Like
so good.
immediately.
Um, Aaron, let's go through the couple that are left on your list. Ben 10, issue number 1 by Dynamite. You got a quick thought? You're muted. So you muted.
Yep, thank you. I can do that one real quick. Ben 10 number one was a nice little introduction, a reintroduction of Ben 10. It was honestly like the first episode, but kind of introduced in a different kind of darker way. You could tell, well, not a darker way, but you can tell that this series is going to take a darker turn than the original series, and I kind of am excited to see where they go with it.
Is it like
Yeah.
ultimate Ben 10 in a way?
I want it to be that, but it starts off literally as him as a kid and him getting the watch. So, but like you kind of see like it's more of a grittier kind of thing with like Uncle Max, I mean Grandpa Max like cursing and stuff. Like not like, but just when the hell in the damn. But
Okay.
you know, it's nice.
Okay. All right. You already read you read the finale to Batman Static Beyond?
Yeah, it was nice. It was cute. It was it was nice. It was cute. Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
buy the trade, but I don't
right.
know.
Yeah. Honestly, it's honestly better to read and trade. I think that'd
Okay.
be better to read.
Fair. Also, astonishing Miles Morales Spider-Man: The Art of Thwip.
It was a nice little filler episode. It was a nice little like it's very much a character development, which I did like. It gave us like a little like reunion, little friendship, a moment with him, Gust, and his new brother Shift, I think his name
Yeah,
is.
Shift. Yeah.
But yeah, like it was a nice little like fun little book for them.
Okay, cool. And then last but not least, Civil War Unmasked, issue number 1. I read this one,
I
and it's
did.
20 years since Marvel's Civil War came out, and
Yeah.
these are like the untold stories in between, you know,
Right.
the background stuff. Did you like
Right.
this
But
one?
this one I liked it, but this one was honestly just like a they just used little snippets from the X-Men version of Civil War. I was like,
To
this one
set
I
it up, yeah.
specifically read. Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly to set it up. And I did like this one because this was one of my favorite ones, especially but I would appreciate it more if they showed the scene with Ice with what's her name?
Emma
Emma
Frost.
Frost and Captain Marvel and her showing like them like, oh, this is what you're doing and like her going through her mind. That was one of my favorite lines of Civil War, but it was still a nice little setup to what's going to come up next.
Yeah, they're all like little one shots of like different little things, and it's like a 6
Right.
issue miniseries essentially, just to kind of explore the idea of like what happened. So like in this issue, Bishop, what we had seen previous is like Bishop being like, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to help you out, Tony Stark." So
Yes, it
this
never
takes place
shows it.
right after that, and Bishop
Mm-hmm.
takes Tony to the future, to his future, where mutants are being
Yes.
hunted. And so he's like, this is the dystopia that happens if you don't have the Superhuman Registration Act. And then, so
Mm-hmm.
kind of adds a little bit more context to like Tony being like, well, all these alternate
Yeah.
timelines, I have to push through with this Superhuman
Right.
Registration Act. And it's like a little bit more desperation as
Right.
opposed to
You kind
like,
of see that it's the better of the worst situation that could happen.
yeah,
And like if this doesn't happen, then this could lead to something else.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I kind of like that effect of it.
Yeah. Oh, and then Drew, sorry, Muppets Noir issue number 3, I think is the last one.
Yes.
It's a detective story. Kermit is hallucinating that he is a detective while everybody's getting ready for the Muppet Show.
Okay.
Yes.
And he's a detective who every time he smells pie, he goes into a little like basically like it's like he's on drugs,
Yeah.
and that's when the musical numbers happen.
Okay.
I was so skeptical that a Muppet story told without motion and sound would not feel like a Muppet story, but it legitimately has the feeling of a Muppet movie,
Yeah.
just in comic book form. And there's so many like little visual gags that they're doing throughout it. It is fantastic. I've really loved this series so far.
it seems to me, by the way you're describing it, it's very similar in execution as the Rick and Morty comics. Because I didn't think Rick and Morty would be good as a comic, but they utilize comic storytelling to tell jokes in that medium,
Yes.
and it works. It for some reason.
Honestly,
It is.
I thought that.
Yeah.
I thought that too, and then but for some reason, I knew that Rick and Morty would work perfectly as a comic just because of the theatrics they get into. But yeah, it's also you don't know if the jokes will land
Yeah.
the same way.
Yeah.
But a writer who knows the medium that they're writing
Yes.
in, that is gold. Because sometimes people will write comics like they're movies, and it's like, that's great,
Right.
but you're not utilizing the whole medium.
The full thing.
You just wish it was a movie, you know?
Right.
But anyway, sorry, Drew. Were you gonna say something?
Oh yeah, that's it. It's just it's as I love like very adult comic books. Every now and then there's just a funny like family friendly book that comes out that is very solid. And
Yeah.
that's what this is. And I think if you're anybody who's a fan of the Muppets should read it.
Yeah, fair. I'll put it on my list then. I was anyways gonna read it, but now I mean it's on issue 3, and I'm like, oh, should I still?
3 of 4. So the 4th issue is the last one.
Okay. Oh, cool. I think that's it for all the comics that came out. Well, as far as the comics that we read that came out this week.
I had one more. I'm going to shout it out.
Oh yeah, Hank Howard. That's right. I didn't put
Hank
it on
Howard, Pizza Detective, A Slice of Life, #1. Robert Venditti and David Lapham. I picked it up because I love David Lapham's detective work. This is very similar to the last story. It's a goofy detective story, but the goofiness like is that it plays up like the hard-boiled detective aspect of it. It's printed on newsprint. It's in black and white, and it is about a detective solving a mystery, and every mystery that he has to solve somehow involves pizza.
That's fair. Okay, all right.
And it's got everything. It's got the femme fatale. It's got the shady organization. You know, the something happening right under his nose. It's got all the tropes. He's having sex in it. It's great.
Okay. What's the publisher on that one?
That is Bad Idea.
Okay. All right. I think now that's it for all the comics that we read this week. If you guys want to tell me before we get going, first of all, thank you so much, Aaron, Drew. Thank you so much for coming on this show, taking time out of your Thursday. Thank you to everybody out there who is watching and or listening. Shout out to Patrick Martin 9163. Shout out to Ashwan Comics 231. I believe Ashwan 231 Comics. Thank you guys so much for watching us, listening to us, digesting us, however you are. Before we get going, Aaron, where can we find you? What do you got coming up? Anything you want to plug?
Of course. So you guys can always find me at TikTok at King Krakoa and on Instagram, the King Krakoa. Nothing coming up, but always stay tuned.
Awesome. Drew, what about you?
Nothing much going on. You can find me TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Drew X Deficit. I'm around. Lately, I've just been defending why I'm a Tom King fan on TikTok, so that's a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some. I'm gonna be publishing some mini comics. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet, but some of the more overtly political stuff that I've done, I think, is gonna end up in print really soon.
Okay. Very cool. Very, very much looking forward to it. Anyone out there who wants to follow me personally, follow me on Instagram at This Is Dimithri. I'm going to be on another episode of Trivial Pursuit tonight on the CW. So, if you didn't see my last episode last week, tune in for my second episode of Trivial Pursuit, hosted by LeVar Burton on the CW tonight, 9 p.m. Pacific. I don't know where it is on other time zones. But if you want to follow The Keeg and all the shows that we produce here at The Keeg, including, Comic Talk, obviously, the most consistent, reliable show that we do every Thursday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/The Keeg Show. We also got The Keeg Talks, where we talk about different topics. Last week, we talked about Invincible Season 4. We're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat 2 coming up. We're going to be talking about Daredevil Born Again Season 2. So that's The Keeg Talks. It's a different show that we do. Tune in at The Keeg Keeg Show on TikTok and Instagram for social media purposes. We're also, youtube.com/The Keeg Show. Of course, we're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're watching us, listening to us. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, write a review, write a comment, hop on our Patreon, patreon.com/The Keeg Show. Support us however you're able to, money-wise, energy-wise, that sort of stuff. Go to comicshoplocator.com, find a comic shop near you, support your local comic shops, support your local public libraries. That's also a key thing. Thank you, everybody who's on this show. Thank you, everybody out there watching this show, supporting this show. There's a lot that we do here, and it's great to see that people are enjoying us out there. San Diego Comic-Con's coming up in July, but, I'll tell you news when we got the news. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I am your host, Dimithri Perera, and this has been Comic Talk for the week of May 7th, 2026. Take care, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Super fast, gotta beat the boss and get the loot, 'cause it's the king.